The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. We're going to change operations here today and do something a little different. Folks, there's one market here that's acting extremely bearish that we follow here every day. I posted it on here this morning in the Tiger Den to take a look at it. You'll be able to see it's the gold market, and it has made that big bottom down there at 1810, and now we've gone sideways, folks. It's been 5 days now, and you notice we hit the 61% retracement, then the 78% retracement last night, so it's trying to hold. But the key here is this is what happened when we were at 1960 and it started to break down. So pay attention to that. It's very, very important. Our goal is I hate to use the word hope, but our intentions are that the gold can get below that 1800 one more time. I'd like to see it down $400 from the high. That would take it around 1660. And if it got that, I think that would be a really good place to look at it. But pay attention to that. Now, this will all change if the gold would snap up above 1872. Then that would not be working right. But right now, it's doing exactly what it did the last time. But that's where we added our third position when we broke those lows, and turned out to be a pretty good move because it dropped another $80 from that level. Okay, now someone's asked a question about Tom Hugard and the fact that some days he has bad days. Folks, Tom has bad days better than 70% of the time, but his good days overwhelm those bad days so much that it doesn't make any difference. I mean, he had to go with the bottom line. He doesn't catch him often sometimes, but boy, when he does, he catches him, really, really big time. So make a move. Remember that. They were talking in here about Louis Rukeyser. I just saw this quote. Boy, that goes back a long way. Nobody ever took that show over, which I was really surprised. I always watched that on a Friday night. And Arch Crawford was on a couple times. That was way back even before I knew Arch. But anyway, let's move on here to one other thing that we need to cover. These European markets are rolling over just a little bit, not a lot, but I think it's important to take a look at some of these. Let's just look at this FTSE right now. You'll see that this is the same type of pattern that we're looking at here. Was that same 382 pattern. It's the same pattern that we think is going to happen in the gold market. You come down from a high, then you take an ABCD rally. Now this one's only taken 2 days because it's a 60-minute chart, whereas the gold chart's 15 minutes, but it covers 4 days. So we've hit that bottom and have gone nowhere in 4 days. We rally $50. That's a normal number in gold anymore. So those are a few of the things that we want to be watching. If you have any questions today, it's 877-927-6648. And I am getting ready for the old allergy season here in old Tucson, Arizona, because boy, usually it starts around February, sometimes January, through about April. Oh, they hit me in the morning pretty good. But fortunately, we have some medications that help to clear the stuff up. And I've tried every single thing on the from the Farmer's Almanac, but none of those seem to work. But I'm doing pretty good, so it's not a problem. I'm usually out of the situation after April anyway. I never had an allergy in my life until I moved here. I mean, I lived in Indiana. Oh my God, I've lived in New York. I've lived in San Luis Obispo. Anyway, Flonase, Flonase is pretty good. That does pretty good. Now let's take a quick look here at the German DAX, because it also is starting to move down. Instead of going to the 382 here now in the German DAX, you'll be seeing this is a beautiful pattern. It goes right up to just a little above the 61% retracement. And when you're trading, folks, a 60-minute chart, usually the difference between the 61% retracement and the 707 is very, very small. This particular pattern here measures an ABCD there at the 707 level. But as you can see, the top came in between those two numbers, and that happens. And that's what you're doing when you're looking at these things. You realize you're only dealing in probabilities. And when you get to those points, you have to decide if you want to take the risk in that or not. And that is, in fact, something that you have to do. Now, I've had a couple questions about the tomorrow we will have Rich Anderson as our guest. Those of you that follow the grains, and those of you in the Tiger Den follow the grains through Mr. Z, there was an incredible bullish report in the grains here on Tuesday after our show. It happened around 11 o'clock in the morning, and the beans were up 45 cents. They've slightly backed off a little bit, but they're still near the highs, and things are moving a little bit higher yet. But this was an incredibly bullish market response. In fact, it was referred to as one of the most bullish ever, and that it says that basically they're out of supply of beans pretty much, and so they're going to have to be bidding up for them now. Believe me, now they're telling you a story, so you got to listen to how the market reacts to that story. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be watching, because I've seen these flagpole moves before, and didn't fall for it then, and not going to fall for it now. So I'll just wait and see how the market reacts to it. Now, there is one that we've been looking at that has been very, very bullish and has been just absolutely perfect technical, and that is the wheat. If you look at the wheat market here, we had the beautiful Gartley back here in early December. We talked about that right on the show. It was a 50% retracement, and it was a beautiful ABCD. In fact, there were double ABCDs in that pattern, as you can see, between November 2nd, November 23rd, and December 6th. And so anyway, that's what watching. You know, folks, I do this every day, and when I don't get feedback, I'm wondering, whether I'm doing the right thing or not, showing you what I'm looking at, because, I don't look at any of the fundamentals. All the grain stuff I get from Cy only, and also from Rich Anderson. But for heaven's sakes, these things that look at this move in gold in wheat. I mean, you have corn and beans going to the moon, and look at wheat, so perfectly methodical, and it's giving a price objective of almost $7 a bushel in wheat. That's a big move. Now, not considering a big move is what you're looking at here is to take a look at this. This is a big move right here. You think, well, this is equal to just what happened in the Bitcoin. Hold on just one second. This looks just like a Bitcoin chart, and it's still going up, as you can see here. It's a weekly chart, and this thing, you don't know where it's going to top. What you've got to do now, hold on one second, folks. I need to wet my whistle here. When you see the markets going straight up like that, you can't stand in front of those darn things, folks. It's just not worth it. Once markets go beyond 1.618, your goose is cooked if you're short. And believe me, unless you like goose, get out of that one. That's for sure. I've got a great recipe for goose. Regarding SDPs, right, to focus on the SD. Please, okay, Mr. Z is asking me to focus on the 3820 level in the S&P. We sure will, Mr. Z. I'll do that next when we come up from the break. And thanks for all the stuff you do in here. Boy, you've had a hell of a run, buddy. May God bless.
If you're not currently using the Taz Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The Taz Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, Taz understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the Taz Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the Taz Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, we're back, and we have a caller across the pond over in Amsterdam. David, how are you?
Hi, Larry. I'm doing good. How about you?
Very good. Very good. What can I help you with?
Yeah, it was you were talking about how there's a possibility that gold might be retracing a bit as well. And last week I entered into a silver position on a March futures contract with two contracts.
Long or short?
Yep. And unfortunately, my
side?
average price is around like 26,900. And then the sell-off came, of course, on Friday. And yeah, I'm not sure if I should start letting it go or just add to the position later on at a lower point, or letting at least half of it go and then re-enter at a certain support level.
Okay, let's review that for just
as far as I can see, it might be able to drop to 22, maybe.
Yes.
In worst case.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was wondering what your thoughts were about that.
Okay, your thought is what's important. It's not what you think, it's how you think. And what you're doing now is you're questioning yourself that may or may not be the time to take it off. When you're in doubt, you should get out. That's the old adage from Amos Hofstadter. If you're really concerned about something and you're not sure, you should get out. And so I would say it might be the wrong thing to do, but that's the way I've always looked at it, and it's served me it served me well, because that's telling you that you're psychic. There's something back there that you're a little bit nervous about, and if you're not really sure in this business, it's pretty tough to pull the trigger when you need to. So I would be really, whenever I hear that thing, David, that really does bother me, because of the psychological nature of what we do in trading. It's 85% psychological. And if you're not, in fact, my big painting behind my office here, I think it's the third or fourth one down. It says, "When in doubt, get out." That's directly from Amos Hofstadter and also from Jesse Livermore. So if you're really not sure about something, you really should either protect yourself with a really tight stop if you like, or just take off the position and wait for the next pattern.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. And the only thing is like, because your confidence builds. I've been doing pretty good for the past 4 months. And then, this is like my first time in 4 months where my plan hasn't worked out. So it sort of dents your emotion, of course, as always. And then you need to regroup yourself, and then you sort of become sort of insecure again. But then you need to, I need to stay focused on my plan either, or indeed, when in doubt, get out. All right.
Well, I think it's very important that what you went through, because it's a mental game. It's so much mental, David, that I can tell you. I've watched Mark Douglas when I worked with him in the office all those years. He would prove to me how mental it was, and it's really true. The one thing that you'll do on this is if you've got a trade that's hurting you like this, it's hurting you in more than one way. The fact that it's taking money away from you is the incidental part. That doesn't mean anything. That means you just made a mistake. What's happened now is it's eating away at your self-confidence. I can hear that in your voice here, that you've been doing good for 4 months and you made a mistake. Hey, Bubba, I make mistakes so often that I have to wake up 3 times a night just to make sure I'm not dreaming. You just have to be able to to shake it off and move to the next one, and that's pretty much it. I was very bearish to crude oil, and yet it went up a little bit higher, and it went up to the next number I was looking at. I took a nibble at it there. So far, that one's working out, but you don't know which ones are going to work and which ones not. But the problem is that when you're not even any idea of where you are in it, which where you're standing right now, that's where you got to be the safest.
Yeah, exactly.
So at the worst,
right now we're sort of stuck in between this narrow range. It can go either way. So
yes, it certainly can. Make sure you don't let it go above you, because you don't want it to kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
The old market adage, David, is the first mistake teaches, the second mistake kills, and you don't want to get into that second mistake, because it hurts your trader spirit, and that's what we live on. We have to have that energy when we're doing this kind of stuff to have confidence in what we're doing, for sure. Yeah,
great advice. Thank you. Watch the show every day, and keep up the good work, because it really brought me the way or where I am now, and I'm very happy about that. So thank you for all your hard work and your advice.
I'd send you a check, David, but they won't take U.S. money over there at Denmark anymore. Amsterdam, sorry. That's Holland. Okay, thank you for calling in.
It's sort of weird how you see everything going up here, and we're being locked down here for another long time, and then the market keeps bumping up. It's like I try to tune out the noise and keep it technical.
Well,
and
I'll
not
tell
pay
you,
attention much to the news and just read the charts, and that seems to work for now. So
if there was ever a time that the charts would tell you that it was working, is now, because the news has been so bearish since March 23rd that how could the market possibly go up again? It's gone up almost every day, and that's what you have to see, is the market feedback coming from what's really happening. If the news is really bullish, like we just had a soybean report, and that report, the beans had gone down, they'd be limping down for several days. But because they're still going up with the fundamentals, supposedly, then that's fine. So the news is strong, the market's strong, you can follow that. But if you find a market that the news is very, very bad, like we had in the stock market, and the thing started to go up, my goodness, that's a really big sign. In fact, I posted a chart at Google when we had the big crash in the market way back from February. Google was the only stock that was up that day. I mean, it wasn't Google, it was Netflix. It was Netflix was up that day, and I said, oh my God, if there's ever a stock that wanted to be bought, that's what you have to buy, because there's no sellers down there, and that's why it's going to just drift up on its own.
Way back from February, Google was the only.
Okay, thanks for calling in, David. I really appreciate it. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next one. I hope we're still on the air. Let's double check this. Broadsword to Danny Boy, broadsword to Danny Boy. Come in, Danny Boy. The eagle has landed. The chicken is in the pot. chicken is in the pot. Can we hear us? Yes, there we are. I just wanted to make sure there. I heard I had a lightning flash or whatever it was, and I didn't know if I'd lost connection or not. So bear with me here because it's a little rough day here. Let's take a look here at the old currency that we're currently short, and I think we're going to be going lower here finally. They almost took us out, but they missed it by a little bit. Hold on a second here. And then I'll go to the S&P right after the break here, Mr. Z. And I will do the best I can to tell you what I see happening in the E-mini S&P. But again, that's just my assumption of where I think the market's going. But as you can see here on this British pound, we've had some type of a double top there at the 137. Our stop would have been right above that 137 level. We got to 136.90 or something like that. And we're trading about 40 cents or so below that right now. So I don't think it really means a whole lot here. When we get back from the break, we're going to be talking about the E-mini S&P 500 and a little bit about what Rich Anderson is going to be talking to us about tomorrow when he has his guest spot on. So if you have any questions, give us a call, 877-927-6648, and we'll be happy to answer them for you.
Larry Pesavento watches the markets 24/7, and now is a great time to try out his daily trading service, Fibonacci 24/7. Larry publishes videos and charts for subscribers throughout the week when warranted, and every weekend he puts out a thorough report covering worldwide markets, futures, commodities, and currencies with Fibonacci retracement levels, possible trading setups and zones, and stops and targets for all recommendations included. Larry applies the principles he's developed over decades of trading while analyzing a variety of markets for subscribers. To see for yourself the types of videos, charts, and analysis that Larry provides for his subscribers, sign up for Fibonacci 24/7 today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. You'll also gain instant access to Larry's archived subscriber webinar from earlier this year. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today. If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing up positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim.
For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, I posted the chart of the E-mini S&P. This is the one we had on Friday when the market, we gave a sell signal at 38.23. High so far has been 38.24 and a half. We dropped 40 handles, and I'm looking for more than 40. So I said, put your stop at your 38.20 level so that you don't lose anything on the trade and don't have to revisit it. Folks, I'll tell you, these are the ones that drive you nuts, and I'll tell you why. Back in the days of Drexel, when I was trading gold and silver, I had two really big accounts, and they happened to be very close personal friends. At least I thought they were. And I got out of all the gold in early January. The top was made on January the 20th. I got out probably on the 5th or 6th or 7th because of the tax implications. If we sold in that year, you didn't have to pay taxes for 18 months. And at those days, we were rolling over in silver spreads. In other words, you would put a straddle on, and whichever side of the straddle was losing, you would take that off to offset the profits that you made in another market. Well, the problem was a few years after that, the good old boys at the CFTC decided to make that, and the guys at the IRS decided to make that thing not retroactive. So they really hammered a bunch of people. Raise your hand, Larry. But it was still okay, not a big deal. But anyway, let's remember those two fellows that I was telling you about. I got out of them in around the 7th of January, and from that level, gold rallied $200. It went from we got out around 662, I believe. You know, it was around 662 because it was 618. I remember that. That's why we were getting out, and that was a long run. From I think the lowest price during that run was. The highest price that I bought was around $450 to $500. So we took the whole thing, and we had accumulated a lot down there at the 250 and area, which was, the low had been 120. Some people were in at 120, and but anyway, that's what happened. Those two guys never spoke to me again after that, even though they rode the thing up and down, up and down, up and down. I know they had physical gold during this run because they're in the gold business, but the fact that they missed that last $200 really bothered me. And then one day I'm sitting here in the office with Mark Douglas, and he said, Larry, he said, that's the number one fear of the four fears that we look at, that professional traders have the most difficulty doing, and that's, leaving so much money on the table. And I can see that because, folks, fear is a greater emotion than greed. Greed is euphoric. You get in there and you just think everything's going to go up forever, which it usually does. But fear, you get to see the physical characteristics. It's a really tough. John Hill used to say, it's goodbye house, goodbye car, goodbye boat, goodbye wife. So be careful. You don't want to get to that point. Now let's take a little gander here at the old Bitserino, because Bitserino, the old Bitcoin, is rocking and rolling. Look at this, folks, here. If you will take this, you'll see that the low here, if you did the work, we had a nice little correction, back there in November. And if you did the low to the high and then back to the low, you'll see that 30,100 was the exact 61% retracement of that move. And we're back to 39,200 and change today. And believe me, folks, this thing has not made a top, in my opinion. It might be a mania, but these mania boys can feed on this thing for a long time. Remember, this puppy went from a few cents to $100 and stayed at $100, and then had a big correction, and now we're trading at 39,000. That's more than you can get at the bank, boys and girls. And I have not traded one coin or one token at all. I have some coins from Ada, Cardero, but that's just really small deal. Anyway, let's move on here to a couple things that other folks have asked about. And that is the old platinum. I really have been very bullish platinum and platinum. And you'll see here that we are heading up. I believe we're heading up close to that $1,200 run. If gold ever turns, and we're at the 78% level in the platinum right now, but if gold ever turns, this thing will make $1,200 really, really easy. Now, these are two different metals. I mean, platinum is a it's definitely a precious metal, just like palladium is. But these uses for these is totally different than what it is for gold. Gold is heavy involved in electronics and stuff like that, and jewelry and stuff like that. But the jewelry part of platinum is really tough because it's such a hard metal that jewelers hate to work with it. That's okay. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we'll move on to the next one. Any questions that you have is 877-927-6648. The importance of that report that we got in the gold market. Let's get this soybean chart up. I wanted to show it to you again. The importance of this report is so dramatic that we're going to have Rich Anderson on tomorrow and talk about it, because they're basically talking about there are no soybeans available other than to start bidding them up. In other words, people that bought it earlier are now they're heavy on the long side, and now they're very, very difficult to get physical soybeans for delivery, and that's including for China, and even South America is, they've had their crop, but it wasn't anywhere, it wasn't anywhere what it should be. So let's remind ourselves that these things, these flagpole patterns, they're not the easiest. And I don't recommend anybody, doing anything like that. If you're going to do a flagpole pattern, I didn't finish the right part of what I wanted to do with the S&P. And this is here. This is why you don't have to sell a flagpole. Look at the S&P here, folks. Now this is over the last few days. We'll get it up here. You'll be able to see it. It's been absolutely perfect. Look at this. You make a high up there at 38.23. You make a perfect ABCD down to 37.65. That's down 60 handles. And what do? You make a perfect ABCD today up to 38.15. Now, what we put our stop at 38.22. So if we don't lose on this trade. Now, if it works, that's fine. But if it doesn't, then by golly, you just got to move on and not worry about it. It's just one of those things that you can't figure. You just can't think about the risk, folks. You really can't. I'll cover Treasury bonds in just a second here, but I need to double check an order. Yep, we're in good shape there. All right, move on here. Hold to the next one here. The key level to watch today in the gold, folks, is right around 56, I believe. We might tag that by just a little bit, but that's what it looks like. Looks like it wants to do. So we'll not worry too much about that. When we're trading at 38.10 in the S&P here in the open, as long as we don't, folks, I don't know what else to do. I really don't. We got all the earnings coming out and all this other stuff, but the best I can do is to do put a stop in at break even and let her rip, because I'll tell you, so many times, boy, you think you take a small profit in something because it's going to reverse. Just like we were talking about David here from Amsterdam just a little while ago. He was on the reverse side of that. He had made a mistake and he was trying to figure out what to do. Well, that's what you have to do as a trader. And the first thing you got to ask yourself is, how much am I at risk here? And so if I look at that and I'll say this is $170,000 contract and I'm at zero risk, that risk I can take all day long. Unfortunately, we didn't cover some of it. 877-927-6648.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The Bull Bear Trading Hour with Tom and Tommy O'Brien. Next.
Okay, folks, I've had several people ask about the gold. Folks, that's my opinion of what I think is going to be happening. I don't know for a fact that that is what will happen. All I know is that's what should happen. Now, regarding the Bitcoin, folks, when I show you these numbers, and believe me, this was in our newsletter. I mean, John Jameson, who wrote this letter this past week, does my letters for us. But if you'll know that he was looking for a really nice correction in the Bitcoin of around 38%, and that's exactly what it did at 38.10. Just go look at the newsletter. He was saying it was going to be oversold. We'll get a correction. Watch for 382, and bada bing, that was pretty much it. So, here again, he was just looking at it technically. That's really all what it's about. Okay, now getting back to the gold, we're in a situation now that we're bouncing off of that 78% level that it hit last night. Down. Hold on, we're going to have a caller coming in possibly. Is that something private? We have Michael from Nashville, Tennessee. Michael, how are you?
Actually, it's Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Oh, they've got you down. Oh, Mike, why does it say Nashville?
Anyhow,
that's close enough, Mike.
Christmas butterball turkey recipe you had. It took me a whopping 6 hours to prepare that.
Oh, of course. It's worth every penny of it, though. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, it's delicious. Delicious.
Yeah, it stays moist, and it's much, much better.
Excellent. It took me about 4 days to finish it all up.
Good. What about the...
You could share maybe a recipe for the Chinese New Year? February the 15th?
I have a very great duck recipe. Are you ready?
Well, yeah. Well, and just before the New Year, maybe you could spend some time discussing it. Okay,
I'll be happy to. Now, you had a question about the QQQs?
Yeah, I wanted to look at the triple Qs. Do you have any astro cycle dates, any cycle turn dates coming very soon here? I mean, we're approaching a long weekend. We're approaching the halfway point in the first month of the new year.
21st of January. 21st of January is a big date, and I believe that was given to us both by Tim Bost and also by Norm Winsky. Both of those guys are very heavily into the astrology, and Shane Smolian also reminded us of that date. So Yeah, that's what I rely on those folks. I watch Shane and then Arch and then and Tim. But I look, if they all come together, yeah, that probably means something. So I look at the patterns first, and then I look at the cycles to see if they're coming in, and that says it's around the 21st. Of course, that's the day after inauguration. For God's sake, anything can happen here in the United States the way things are going. So you just never know.
Yeah. So you think there's going to be some riots or something in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, Mikey,
What's your opinion?
Mikey, that's so far over my pay grade, I couldn't even begin to answer it. I don't think so. I think smarter heads will prevail. But, don't forget, we had those riots probably before you were born back in the 60s when we were first having segregation, and that was bad enough. So hopefully we'll go through that again. So, but you never know. People act differently at times, so it's about all you can do.
Okay. So do you ever think we'll have a 10% correction in 2021,
yes,
or are we just going to chop around here?
I can guarantee you with 100%, I'm talking you 100, this is an ivory soap, 100%, there will be a 10% correction. But, Michael, for the life of me, I don't know when it's going to happen. And you know what else? Nobody else does either. So it will be more than 10.
Care,
it will be
Thank you
more
very
than
much.
10. Hey,
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for calling in. But I think that correction will be more than 10% when it does happen, and if it does happen, and that therein is what we would like to see if that's going to be the case. All right, now let's move on here to someone else asked a question. What did they ask? Oh, the natural gas. Let's take a look at the natural gas here. We're backing off a little bit. We've come down a couple of days now after we had this nice little run-up, not unexpected because we broke out. There should be really strong support down there at that 265 level. I think we're around 270 here this morning and change, something like that. But we'll be looking at what it's going to be ending. I know, folks, everybody has an opinion about this stuff, about these cryptocurrencies. I don't know enough about them, but I talk to people who are smart about it that have made a whole lot of money at it, and they think it's for real. And when you say something, the Bitcoin has a bigger face value now than Facebook, for crying out loud. So that's a big deal. But what it means, I don't know. And they're hard to trade. I mean, if you're trying to get on these coins and some of these like Ripple and Ethereum and Cardano and even Bitstamp, I mean, these are, you got to convert your money into Bitcoin, and some banks won't do that for you. I mean, it's just that, for God's sake, don't lose your password, because you lose your password, it's SOL, baby. I mean, you're not going to have anything. And we've heard stories about that over the past few years about people that have lost their coins that were, just totally devastated because they thought they'd made $1 million, and the fact that they didn't. Folks, I know one person for sure. He worked for me about 7 or 8 years ago. Ace, he lives over in Bulgaria now, Sofia, Bulgaria, and he went to work for Google about 4 years ago, and his job was to look at cryptocurrencies. And he looked at that, and he said, "I don't need Google to do this." And he went out on his own, and he converted $25,000 to over $100 million. And he lives over there now. He's bought a school that he has running. He's got a hospital that he bought for the community and stuff. And now he's just sitting in front of his machine, trading the cryptocurrencies. But he cashed out with a big ticket. And so it's one of those wonderful stories you hear about. But Ace was a pretty smart boy. But he said he didn't know what was going on. But when he figured it out, he said these things are going to go higher. And he's looking for a price of $100,000 in Bitcoin. Well, it's at 35 now, folks. Stop and think of this. If it went from 3 to 35 in a month, it can go from 35 to 100 in 2 or 3 months. You don't know what these markets are going to be doing. We haven't seen a real tulip bulb thing since 2000 when we had the .com bubble. That was truly a once in a lifetime opportunity, and yet it lasted 2 or 3 years. But it took the market, 7 years to get back above those highs. So, that's why I do smaller term, because I don't have to risk very much. And when I do, it allows me to, just relax and say, all right, well, that's what I have to. I hate to look at the machine all day long. That's the number one thing. This machine, folks, is a mirror. It's not a monitor. It's a mirror looking at all your imperfections. And when you're seeing all your equity going up, you're, oh, good, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this. And when it starts going down, oh, there goes this, there goes this, there goes this. You start doing that, that middle stuff is going to eat away at you like a mold, like COVID-19 almost. It really is. So try not to stare at the monitor. Practice baby steps. You stop watching it for 20 minutes and then come back and finally get to the point where you watch it every half hour like I do. Now, I do have the beepers on to let me know that the things are going to, work, but that's neither here nor there. I don't have any other questions about it. Is there any safe currency we can count for a devaluation in the middle of the night? Yes, the U.S. dollar. They're not going to, well, whoa, back up, cowboy. Stop and think. They did this. FDR did this. In 1945, he took us off the gold standard. So there is really no safe currency other than the paper stuff, and that's cash. But even that is under advisement. We'll be back. 877-927-6648.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks. I want to expand on what Peek asked about. He said, is there any safe currency? And frankly, there probably isn't, but I think cash has always turned out to be okay. But remember, the reason why I'm bringing this up is we've had in the past, many of you folks, I remember some of them, but I don't remember I remember Bretton Woods, but I don't remember the one that Franklin Delano, because I was only 5 years old when he did that in '85. He took us off the gold standard basically overnight and made gold being confiscated. And a few people did turn it in, but a lot of people didn't. And they were the smarter ones, of course, because remember what Reagan said: any government that can give you everything you want has the ability to take everything you want away from you. So remind yourself that that's a very important. You can't really protect yourself. I always have silver and gold. I do have I keep a couple bucks in cash, and then I watch that. But the one thing that's going to happen is if something does happen in 45, it happened in 74 at the Bretton Woods Agreement when Nixon took us off took the dollar off the gold standard, and we let the dollar float. And so this is something I think we have to keep in mind, but if you can trade around it, there's going to be greater volatility because of that. I don't think there's going to be, I think we're going to see the VIX index probably trade in the 30s or 40s regularly. Remember how long it stayed at the 1310 level? It was down there for a very, very long time. And so from that level, you got to say, well, what's going to happen next? And we don't really know. But nobody else does either. That's the whole key of what we're looking at. Tomorrow, don't miss tomorrow's show if you can, because Rich is going to have some great stuff about why these markets in the grains are going nuts. Because, folks, you're going to be looking at bread up about a buck a loaf, and you're going to be looking at other stuff. Your price of your because that's protein in the beans and stuff. So that means your price of your cooking oil is going to go up, and the price of your meat, your cattle is going to go higher. So get ready for some inflation. It's coming.